That's right, listeners. We're going to have a quick interview here with Mr. Roy Dias, the coach for the Nepalese team. And we're just walking into a commentary box now, just after the presentation of the man of the match awards for both the games today. There's a game between Nepal against Oman, and of course the game between Saudi Arabia and UAE. Welcome, Roy. Thank you so much for agreeing to for this short interview. What a match! What a match!
Yeah, what a great game, I think. Cricket is such a funny game. Till the last ball is bowled, you don't know what is happening. But I thought this game, when we won the toss, we decided to bat. And I think we fell shy by 20 odd runs because we got a brilliant start. But we didn't capitalize on that.
Certainly, I mean, your start was amazing. I think of the first 5 overs, you were at 1.55 for no loss in the first 5 overs. And Mehboob Alam, what batting by him? 41 runs in 21 balls.
He's a brilliant player, no doubt about it. It's just that he doesn't get the big scores. This is what I'm trying to insist on him, that he gets a big scores, which he can because he's a great time of the ball. He has a very good eye, and he's a good all-rounder.
Certainly, I mean, I was just commenting on the fact that here he is, opening and batting for Nepal, scoring 41 runs off 21 balls, and then he comes back and he opens the bowling.
That's his normal style, because when we play a one-day game, and I insist that he opens batting and open bowling because he has a good swing with his left-arm pace, and he had done tremendous well. But a little disappointed with him because I expect him to get a big score, which he's not doing because he has so much talent. He just thought that he doesn't believe in himself that he can get the big scores.
But you know, Roy, I was speaking to a lot of cricket luminaries in the Asian region over the last few months and few years, and they've all said it's very difficult to please Roy Dias, you know.
I don't think it's correct because I have come for a job, for a purpose, and I expect the boys to follow suit. And I've been enjoying my stay in Nepal for the last 6.5 years, and it's nice to see the Nepal cricket coming up. So I'm only a teacher. I always believe that I'm only a teacher, and it's up to the players to go out to the centre and perform, which they are done. And the credit should go to the players as well.
Certainly, Roy. I think there's no doubt about it. I mean, everywhere I go, whether it's Kuala Lumpur, whether it's Singapore, whether it's Kuwait, everyone has got only kind words and great words to say about you, and what a wonderful job you've done with Nepal cricket. Roy, just a few things I want to ask as well, apart from Nepal cricket and what you've done for in terms of coaching. In terms of your own playing days, of course you were in the team, the Sri Lankan team, when Sri Lanka first got test status. Can you just tell us, go through some of those days with you?
Yeah, we started playing test cricket in '82, although we played a lot of cricket before that. We got the test status in '82, and we started off not that well, but the thing is, the difference now is that we didn't have such amount of facilities, and also it was training period was not that great because we didn't have trainers, but now you get a trainer, you get a physio, whereas we didn't have that sort of thing. Plus we didn't have enough of cricket to play, because I remember in '84 when we played the first test at Lord's, Siddharth got 190 and Dilip got 100 and the second in 90, but they had to wait for 1 more year to play the next innings.
Certainly, that has changed now, of course. I mean, over the years, Sri Lanka, I think that was the problem with all the young test nations. They were not being given enough cricket. And going back on a personal note, Roy, I still remember reading about this. Of course, I was too young to watch it myself. You didn't have a great start to test cricket. I believe you didn't score much on the first innings, but you came back with a bang in the second one and scored 77 runs.
Yeah, I got out. I was the first Sri Lankan to be dismissed for 0, and that was the first test and first innings. But lucky for me, I got 77 in the second innings, and after that I continued getting a lot of runs. I think I got my 1,000 runs in the 11th or the 12th test match, which I had a good run that certain period. And most of the batsmen normally, when the things go well, you had to continue. But the saddest part is there was no one to tell us how to go on, because I remember when you get 100, you think that's good enough, because secondly you don't concentrate, you get out cheaply. That's what happened to me. But if there was someone pushing us, like now,
like a coach, yes, professional coach, a professional manager,
but
yes.
We were lucky because we had Sir Gary Sobers with us, and he did a lot of good things for Sri Lanka cricket. And nowadays, if you take even the number 10 batsman gets a 50, whereas those days to get a 50 was a great thing.
Certainly, yes. And Roy, of course, I've been reading many reports about you and your playing days, and of course, people like Dulip Mendes. And there was a report which I read somewhere that said the backbone of the Sri Lankan batting side was, of course, Dulip Mendes and Roy Dias. And what are you going to say about batting with Dulip Mendes?
I think it was great to bat with Dulip because we have been very, very close friends from our school days, and we played school cricket together, although different schools. But I think teams come in pairs, because I remember before us it was just like Andra Tenakun and Michael Teixeira. Then it was myself and Dulip. Then it was Arjun and Arvinder. Then it was Marwan and Sanat Jayasuriya. And now it's Maila and Kumar. So the team needs a good pair. And that's what is happening in cricket, I think.
Certainly, Roy, coming back to Nepal now. You've been there for 7 years, and
right. Yeah.
they have gone in great strides now. Where do you see Nepal cricket going after this?
I think age group wise, I think Nepal is number one, because we have been playing for the last 4 World Cups under 19, and we have done very well. And in fact, we got qualified to play in the next World Cup as well. But about that, I think the senior team, which they need, is a lot of cricket. The exposure is not there for them to improve the game, because I feel the seniors shouldn't only play in Nepal. They have to go out of the country and play with experienced players, with tougher sides to learn. And that's what is happening to Nepal cricket, especially the senior team.
What about today's game? How many under 19 players do you have in the present squad?
I have five under 19 boys, and the average age of the whole team is about 23, 24.
A very young side.
Very young side.
And what can you tell us about the performance today? What was the standout performances today?
I think it was Mehboob Alam who started the show for us, and we have been always getting a good start. But last couple of games we didn't capitalize on that. But still, for all, we got 120s and 129. But I think what's changed, we are not in the semi-finals because of just 2 overs, odd overs here and there. Because against Qatar, I remember on the 17th over they got 20 odd runs, and the 18th over.
It happened again today, didn't it?
Yeah, it really happened, because in the 17th over, 18 runs were scored.
18 runs were scored, that's right.
But luckily Paras Khatko bowled for the first time in this game, because he's normally a seamer, but he can bowl his off spin, and he had a lot of confidence. So when I was asked by the captain whether to bring Paras, I said of course, because I know him, because he had done that in the under 19 as well. Because 2006 in the semi-finals, South Africa had to get 5 runs with 5 wickets in hand. He came and asked me whether he could bowl off spin, and I said okay, and he gave just 3 runs.
Right, and coming back to this, you mentioned that the captain asked you, was this during the game or before the game you had?
It just, the message was sent to me.
The message was sent to you, yes.
Because the wicket fell.
Right.
And then at the end of the over, they asked from bound line whether to bring Paras, because Shakti had given 18 runs in that over. So it was the obvious choice, because I could have preferred Paras bowling earlier, because the left-hander was there. And Paras normally bowls off spin. So for a left arm seamer,
into him,
yeah. So, but anyway, everything went off well. I think Paras deserves to be the man of the match, just bowling 1 over.
Exactly, but I was just about to mention the fact that I personally felt that Mehboob Alam deserved something as well. Great start. I mean, what a fantastic start he gave you. I was watching your game yesterday against Qatar. I felt that personally that you were not, the batsmen were not flowing. They got starts, but never sort of went on from there. But today, Mehboob Alam gave you a fantastic platform to build on.
I think he's the only person in the team who can get you quick runs, because others technically they are correct, and they don't like to slog a little much, because I think 20 overs you need big hitters, whereas my players are small made. But overall, I think 20 overs, if you can get a single every ball and the odd 4 come in, and as you said, Mehboob gave us a good start. It's just that we felt short about 20 runs, and maybe anything is possible. But
what was the sentiment like in the changing room? Sorry, Raza, in your tent when in the 17th over, the score was, well, Oman 110 for 6, and then in the 18th over, 18 runs were given, and the score was 128 for 6. 18 runs. What was the feeling then?
It was very difficult to take, because this has been happening for the 3rd time, and but then there was 2 overs left, and there was 12 balls, 12 runs to get, and we need one good over and a couple of wickets, which I think Basant Regmi bowling that over got a wicket, and that changed the whole thing. And then the last over they had to get 8 runs. So it's not easy because the 9th and 10th guys were batting, and unless we gave them a 4, because single was okay, but then later on we got those 3 wickets, and it was an exciting game. I think I don't think even Oman should have lost this game, because they were okay with that 18 runs, but that's how it goes, and I think we were a bit lucky.
That's right. 18 at the end of the 18th over, scores 128 for 6. Oman needing only 23 runs to win the game at that point from 2 overs. Sorry, 13 runs. Sorry,
Yeah,
13 runs to win from 2 overs. It seemed like a breeze for Oman, but then 2020 cricket. And can you please take us through the last 2 overs?
I think
the way you saw it, the way you saw the last 2 overs.
I felt that a little bit of thinking of the batsmen who were in the centre, because they had 12 balls to get 13 runs, and it was a single each ball, and the field was set to stop the 4. So if they really thought, without trying the big hits, and they could have just pushed the gaps and taken 2s. But I can always say, when you're watching you can predict things, but when you're in the centre you think twice, and you think you can finish off the game in a couple of balls. But that's what happened to Oman. I think it was an exciting game. And
certainly, yes. At the end of the 19th over, the score was then 133 for 7. 133 for 7, and Oman required 8 runs from 6 balls with 3 wickets in hand.
Because they had to get 7 runs to tie the game.
That's right.
And it could have been very easy, and then it could have been a bowler for the first time in this tournament.
That's right.
But luckily it didn't
We
happen.
were looking forward to that as well. To the next step.
It happened in the World Cup.
That's right.
India,
Pakistan.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, but I'm pleased for the boys, no doubt about it, because out of 4 games, I think we should have easily beaten Qatar. It's just, as I said earlier, it was 2 overs ruined the whole show. And 2020, I feel, is that till the last over is bowled, you just can't predict what the result is going to be.
That we showed that, we saw that today. I mean, and I must say, at the end of the day, awarding the man of the match to what's his name?
Paras Katkar.
Paras Katkar. That's right. I mean, what a performance by the bowler at the last over, and he had to defend 8 runs.
Yes.
Not easy.
And he gave a 4 in between.
That's right.
And I think that's the reason I think he's a very educated guy, and he reads the game very well, and he's also committed. And this is what I feel. Even the Qatar game, he had asked for the ball from the captain, that he had the confidence keeping the runs down, but sadly he gave 18 runs. But these things happen. Like today, he won the game for us.
That's
the
right.
last against Qatar, he gave 18 runs, and maybe if we had bowled better, we could have won that game as well. But sadly, we are not in the semi-finals. But at least it's 2. We lost 2-1-2. So
Yeah. And Paras Katkar, if I'm not mistaken, was the under-19 captain.
yes, he's the captain.
And yes, we actually interviewed him on herecricket.com while you were there during the qualifying matches in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur. And I must say, a very eloquent young man. Spoke extremely well, very eloquent, and a great cricketer, good cricketer.
He's a very intelligent boy, I think. And as I said, that's the reason I appointed him as a vice captain of the senior team, because I think after does, someone young chap has to take over, and he did very well in the ACC Under-9 trophy as a captain. As a captain, he read the game very well, and he's one guy who's I would say that committed. And his behavior is such that you need a captain like that.
I see. Just before we wind up the interview, I've got here emails coming in from Nepal actually.
Right.
And there's a question here from Prabin, and he asked this question: Can Mr. Roy Dyers try to bring these players to play outside, such as in his own country, Sri Lanka?
Yeah, I have done that, because every time we play Malaysia, I make sure that I speak to my cricket board. That's Mr. Jayanta Dharmadas, who's the president, and he had been very, very kind to Nepal. And in fact, when we went to Malaysia for the under-19, I visited Sri Lanka for 10 days, and everything, the hotel, the grounds, the matches were all organized by the cricket board. And only thing I can do is get help from Sri Lanka. But I think the other countries like India, Pakistan and Bangladesh, if they can come forward and help these guys, I think cricket will come good. But whatever I can do with Sri Lanka, I have done it, and I'm pleased to say that I have always taken my boys. And if you take Paras Kadka, he has visited Sri Lanka 5 times. So I can do that in Sri Lanka because
of your connections there. Yeah.
Yes.
Well done, Roy. Roy, but before we end this interview, I'd just like to ask you very quickly, next year is the World Cup, Under-19 World Cup in Kuala Lumpur, and how do you rate Nepal's chances, and how do you rate the other teams, associate teams' chances?
I think we are in a very difficult group because we had to play Sri Lanka, Australia and Namibia. But I feel that the ranking has been a bit disappointing because we did win the Plate Championship last in 2006 World Cup. So we were the 9th place out of the 12 countries or whatever it is. But when we check the ranking now, we are still the 11th because South Africa is 9, New Zealand is 10 and we are 11. But we beat South Africa in the semi-finals, we beat New Zealand in the finals. So I feel just try that we should be ranked 9th. And I have nothing to do with this ranking because I'm just explaining. And if we had been ranked 9th, we could have been the Pakistan, Zimbabwe and Malaysia group.
Right.
That could have given us a better chance.
An easier passage.
Yes.
Well, Roy, I'm going to end this interview now. Roy, thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure talking to you. Of course, the last time we met, we were in Kuala Lumpur, and we were, of course, in the Royal Summer Club, sipping a few cold ones. Unfortunately, we can't sip a few cold ones here in Kuwait. And on that note, Roy, thank you very much, and all the best for the World Cup next year.
Thank you very much, Alex. Thanks a lot for inviting me here and speaking to you.
And before we end, any chance of Nepal going through?
I think it's going to be very difficult because Afghanistan has to lose to Malaysia, or Malaysia has to beat Afghanistan on a better run rate. But still, for all, I think we missed our chances with the Qatar game, and also the last game with Afghanistan. But these things happen in cricket, and this is the first time these guys are playing in 2020. But maybe the next tournament they will improve better and perform better.
Thank you, Roy. Thank you, Roy, for joining us, and well done, Nepal.
Thanks, Alex.
For giving us probably the most exciting game so far in the 2020 Cup.
Only one thing I would like to say is the Nepal crowd and the cricket fans, they have done a tremendous job. They have supported the cricketers. I hope they will continue supporting the cricketers, and one day, maybe Nepal will get one-day status.
Thank you, Roy. Thank you so much for that.
Thanks.
There you heard it, the interview with Roy Dias, and Roy ended up the interview by saying thank you to all of you out there who are listening to HearToIt.com, and for all of you for supporting the team. Thank you, and join us in an hour or so for the game between Malaysia and Afghanistan, coming to you live from Hubara in Kuwait.